Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of An Experiment Called Life with Alex, Mackenzie, and Findog. We are here. We're in Jasper right now. What is the date today? I should have wrote that down. Monday, June 26th. We're on our way back from Lethbridge. We just did shows at Lethbridge at the Good Times Comedy Club. Dude, it was so fun, man. I think clubs are probably the funnest. Like, theaters are great. But that club, it's like that intimate setting and you're so close and like the low ceiling, the dark room, like everyone surrounded, like especially like Good Times has a great shape. It's like a shoebox and then you're on like the long wall. So the people are wrapped right around you, which is perfect and what you want. So it was super fun and getting to do a club and do like the Friday, Saturday, not having to do any of the production side of it. Oh, what a dream. I see why comedians don't do the producing and they're just like, someone make me famous. Because it is so much easier when you're not having to worry about anything else other than going up and performing. Yeah, it was great. Shout out to Good Times. If you're ever in Lethbridge, go check them out. They're so much fun. Great staff, great people there. Yeah, and then my upcoming shows. So this weekend, it's Canada Day weekend. Not doing anything. Well, I am. I'm going to Kelowna to hang out with a bunch of my buddies, but as far as shows go, nothing. And then the next following weekend after that, we are back at it. We are in Medicine Hat and Saskatchewan, so check those shows out. If you know anyone there, please let them know I'm coming through, and that would mean a lot to me. Last little piece of info, promo stuff before I start talking about stuff is the Hungry for Laughs show. So Hungry for Laughs is getting up to speed now. We've got 3 of the 8 events launched. Tomorrow we launch our biggest one. Tomorrow we launch the Prince George show at the CN Center. We announce it, and I think tickets go on sale on the 29th. I think it's Monday. No, July. Oh, shoot. What is it? It's like Tuesday, next Tuesday. So I think July 2nd. And it goes in for a week. We have pre-sale where we're giving it great, like a huge discount. I think it's like 25% off or something. And hot little tip for those of you listening, I think if you use the code LAUGH, L-A-U-G-H, you can save an extra 25% off of pre-sale. You didn't hear that from me, okay? But I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And then, yeah, it's very exciting. We got like 2,800 seats, dude. I've never done anything this big. It's terrifying, but exciting. Yeah, no risk, no reward, man. So very, very amped up, looking forward to it. Please tell your friends about it. You're going to love it. And yeah, so that sums up that stuff. Now what we will do is I will start talking about, oh, dude, I just left I'm here in Jasper, so they have like the gym and the swimming pool together. I think this could be a funny idea because I think there's so many things that, as a middle-aged man, there's just things I can't do without making people feel uncomfortable, or you're just like, you really got to watch. So I was just in the change room. Like I went to the pool, went to the gym, and then I was getting dressed. And then there were a bunch of kids. I think they closed the pool for, I'm assuming it's some sort of tour class or something going on in there. Bunch of kids, probably 6 to 9 years old, something like that. They're like 30 of them. And they were all in there, and then like 4 of these kids came out early, and they were in there while I was finishing up at the gym, getting changed and coming out. And this one kid gets his shirt stuck, so he's wearing one of those like swimming shirts, and he's got it, it's like skin tight. He's got it pulled up around his head, but it's like he can't get it over his head, and his arms are stuck above his head, and he's just flailing around. Now the kid's completely naked other than this shirt, so he's got his wiener hanging out and everything. And then he's looking at me and he's going, "Hey, can you help me? Like, I'm stuck. Can you help?" And I'm like, "Kid, there's no way that I am coming over there and starting to peel that shirt off of you." Like, that is like, and the kid's looking at me, he's like, "Why can't you help me?" And I'm just like, "Kid, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Maybe one of your friends can help you." And the kid just doesn't understand that I can't, like, he's like, "There's this adult here that won't give me help." And I'm like, "Dude, if I start pulling this shirt off of you, and then your teacher, instructor, comes around the corner and just sees some middle-aged dude peeling clothes off this 6-year-old who's naked, that is not going to be a good look." Like, I don't think I could explain myself out of that one, You're just going to end up on a list somewhere. My life's ruined, it's over. This RV, especially when they find out you live in a van. They're like, "Oh, the guy who lives in a van was peeling clothes off of kids?" That is just not, that's not going to fly. So there goes my life. Now I'm on house arrest, which hopefully wouldn't be that bad if I was in the RV, House arrest in an RV, that's a good one. Write that down, everybody. House arrest RV. That's pretty funny. Oh god. That was like the pandemic when they're like, you have to stay home. I was like, okay, no prob. Started driving around everywhere, which was pretty cool. Yeah, so that was pretty wild. What else is cool? Oh, this week, dude, I got caught up. I got caught slipping in politics, man. It was like I just got caught paying attention to that submarine thing with the billionaires and just watching the amount of anger on both sides. Like, it's wild to see people on the far left, like liberals, just getting very, very excited that billionaires died. But then you're like, I thought you guys are supposed to care about people. But then it's like when it's someone who's doing better than you don't care. Which I thought was like, I'm like, that's wild. Like, I couldn't fathom that. But then, I don't know, I just got caught asking the wrong questions and talking to my friends about it. Then they're like, well, they're trying to explain it. I don't know. I just like, that's the thing. I think there's enough people out there talking politics and doing that. There's no need for anyone else to get involved. I'm just like, I did my writing this morning. That's what I wrote, was one of my regrets from this week. I was like, I shouldn't have got caught up in the stupid submarine thing. Because it doesn't, like, that does not affect me. It has nothing to do with me. And there's enough people doing that type of stuff already. And my biggest fear is becoming a political comedian. I do not want to be that, where you're like trying to fight truth to power or whatever. I would much rather talk about, living in this RV with my dog and the stuff that I know about, So I'll leave that to the rest of them. So yeah, that was a good little lesson I learned. Got to try and keep the chin up, chest out. What was another one? Oh, dude, I found my last few shows, like my second show in Lethbridge, I did maybe 8 minutes of material, if that. Like, it was wild. And that was the same with Kelowna. Kelowna, I got caught up doing that. Lethbridge. And you know what it is? I'm just doing all this crowd work. And I think what it is like 2 weeks ago, a good friend of mine started telling me about Matt Rife, which I'm sure everybody knows about him. I already knew about him. But she just went on talking about how amazing this guy is. He's like the best comedian ever. He's completely revolutionized the game. And then went as far to say, like, stand-up comedy sucks. Like, no one wants to watch stand-up comedy. It's so boring. But this guy's so unique because of his crowd work. And I was like, well, a lot of people do crowd work. I get it. Like, everyone does crowd work. The kid's very funny. It's great. I think what he's doing is great. And he's bringing new people to the game, right? Like, building new fans of stand-up comedy. So I think that only helps comedy, which is good as an art form. But then, like, I think I am now trying to do more crowd work based on her suggestions that comedy's boring and that you got to do more crowd work. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I had a ton of fun. The shows were really good. Everyone went great. I probably got some clips. I'll definitely clip some stuff out from Lethbridge, which was really fun. But then, yeah, I got a lot of new stuff I'm working on. I think that could also be a factor, is that, like, I just finished recording my first special. So I am at a weird place in my career where I've never been, where you're, like, working on new material, trying out new stuff. And some of the new stuff I've tried out, it's good. I think I'm on a good pace. I'm on a good clip of new material, getting rid of the old stuff. But then this crowd work thing, I gotta get that sorted. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you just gotta do it. But it is crazy how quickly people can influence you, right? Like, one good friend tells me that comedy sucks unless you're doing crowd work. And I spend my next fucking 2 weekends just doing crowd work. So, gotta tighten up the old bootstraps there and work on the material. As far as the special goes, that's very exciting news, you guys. So the stand-up comedy special, my first ever one, which, by the way, there's not much harder than watching yourself on stage. Like, I watched my stand-up special, and I'm like, this whole thing is garbage. Like, you're so excited for it, and you watch it back, and it's just like, you're your toughest critic. Like, I look at it, and if I hadn't spent so much money getting this thing produced and put together, I don't know if I'd even put it out. You're like, oh, are any of these jokes funny? This sucks. Like, but I think that's our thing. We are our own worst critics, and it's really hard. And I kind of look at it just as like, this is my early album, like, this is my first album. A lot of artists, you need to get a line in the water, right? So if people then get to me through my TikToks or whatever, then they at least have like a special or an album they can go listen to. So we're gonna try to get this thing launched on Amazon, and then also YouTube, and then Spotify for an album, and then submit it, I guess, to Sirius XM. This is all new ground for me. I've never done anything like this, so pretty exciting. I think I'm gonna look back at this time on my life, man, and be like, this was probably the funnest time. It's very scary. Like, you're doing so much. Like, some days I'm like hard on myself because I'm like, dude, you got to work harder, get to it. And I don't really know if I could do much more than I'm doing now. Like, I really, especially this month, like for the month of June, man, I have been just optimized. Like, I'm an optimist in his prime. But like, you look at everything you're doing, it's like you're producing your own stand-up special, getting all of that, like, produce your own stand-up special, getting your album, getting it all sorted, and then you're doing your personal theater tour as Alex Tells Jokes, going around doing that. And then I produced Comedy for a Cause, which was a theater tour for 4 separate charities. I'm also producing the Hunger for Laughs comedy tour, which we're doing our first arena coming up, all while still doing like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, like posting every day on there, while doing your writing and coming up with new material, while coming up with new material on stage for your next hour, and podcasting every week, and then trying to, lose weight, maintain health, and have fun. But I think that's the thing. Like, I think this is my definition of fun. Like, I like working, man. I do. Like, I really like getting up and just getting after it. Sometimes I go a little loopy when I'm in the RV too long. I definitely noticed that. It's funny because I'll think about my dog more than me. I'm like, oh, poor Finley, he's been cooped up in here all day. I'm like, dude, what about you? You've been stuck in this box the whole time too. So yeah. Anyway, on that note, you guys, I think that's been about 10 minutes of our time. Maybe next week I will talk about how I got into stand-up comedy and do that for anyone who's listening. Or if you have any questions or is there anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Would love to hear it. And we could probably start getting some guests on, do some Zoom stuff. But yeah, you guys, biggest thing, please go to hungerforlaughs.com. Check that out. We're going to a lot of different places in BC and Alberta. That tour starts in October. But yeah, it's my baby. It's my biggest project I've ever taken on. Would mean the world to me if you guys could come out and support it. If not, tell a friend about it. But yeah, all in all, you guys, take care of yourselves. I love you. And just remember to have fun out there.